Hello, my wonderful viewers. Welcome to my platform. This is Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of coming across this channel and you like what you see after watching, please subscribe, put on your notification bell, set it to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to get notified each time I upload a new video, even those without notification. Here we react to all forms of videos, international and local. Every Saturday by 2 p.m. we have our interaction section. You are free to call in to air your opinion about the happenings in our society. Invite your friends, share my videos with your families and colleagues. Do not keep this information to yourself. Myself, I will be sitting down here to watch this video together with you from the beginning to the end. Then we'll go to the comment section and leave our comment, our opinion about the video we watch.
Comply with pronouncements issuing from these documents. So, and here in Nigeria, Section 12 of Nigerian Constitution accords recognition to international law that has been ratified in Nigeria. So the working group, being an offshoot of the United Nations Human Rights Council, are all under United Nations, the canopy of the United Nations, and the working documents are working documents or aspects of international law that have been signed or ratified by Nigeria. So under Section 12 of Nigerian Constitution, this decision issuing from the UN Working Group is binding on Nigeria. If Nigeria fails to obey or comply with it, I think it will lead to a very nasty diplomatic conflict, the sort that the United Nations had with Sani Abacha, the late Sani Abacha. We know how that one panned out. Nigeria has not recovered from that today. So you don't disrespect UN opinions, decisions, resolutions, and all this, and go scot-free. It never happened in history. And the fact that it's called opinion does not reduce its efficacy. Somebody was asking me whether this is a judgment. I said, of course, it's a judgment. In diplomatic circles, they don't use judgment, the word judgment. They don't use ruling, they don't use order. They consider those words words of compulsion. They use diplomatic language like opinion, request, mandate, resolutions, decisions, and things like that to hand down their decisions or point of view. So, or to push their adjudicatory function. So this is something that must be obeyed. And Nigeria has a new opportunity to do the right thing. It already made 3 mistakes. The first mistake was the one you pointed out, the illegal rendition, the extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu on 19 June 2021. That was the first error. The second error was to put him on trial, despite the rendition, despite the lack of proper conferment of jurisdiction on the trial court. That was the second mistake. The third mistake by Nigeria was for the court to refuse to accord the tenacity of the judgment of the Abia State High Court that settled the question once and for all that Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail. On the strength of that judgment, the judge should have reinstated Nnamdi Kanu's bail, but that didn't happen. That's the third mistake. Now, this is the fourth opportunity. If Nigeria fails to comply with this opinion, that will be the fourth mistake. And I don't think this one will not come with countervailing consequences. And you don't need more. Nigeria does not require more. You don't need a court order to revalidate this opinion. The opinion is self-validating, and it should be obeyed from the very top, from the very topmost part of Nigerian government. And so it just requires some kind of pronouncement by the government of Nigeria that they are complying with the UN opinion with respect to the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, and with respect to the other issues that were resolved in favor of Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB, notably that the enterprise should be killed, not even shot to be maimed or to be arrested. So that very unjustified declaration of IPOB as a terrorist group in September 2017 has led to a lot of consequences that you can only begin to imagine. And that was why I doubled up at that time in December 2017. Actually, I came into contact with Nnamdi Kanu in August 2017. The following month, IPOB was declared a terrorist organization and Python Dance, Operation Python Dance was commenced. So in December, I took, because of the inadequacy of domestic remedies, I don't believe that Nigerian courts are equipped to deal with the enormity and complexity of the type of aggression that was being levied against IPOB. So I took the matter to a continental tribunal, and in March 2018, the continental tribunal came down with a categorical ruling, a categorical decision that nullified the declaration of IPOB as a terrorist organization and declared what the federal government was doing to IPOB as gross and flagrant violations of international law on point. So, but you see, while these efforts are on, the government is not letting on. Yes, you are right. Thousands have languished in detention centers across Nigeria. We do have records, like I said, thousands, yes. And there's one fine organization in Nigeria, a very credible NGO that is called the Inter-Society. I'll use this opportunity to request you to look for them and interview them. They are keeping very good records, statistically sound records, credible records of all that have been killed or murdered, arrested, detained since August 2015. They have the most accurate record of what you are talking about right now. And if you look at that record, you will be shocked. It will shock the conscience of humanity to contemplate the enormity of the persecution that has been levied against Biafrans since August 2015. But you see, the battle goes on. For as long as we are alive, you have to keep defending yourself. Either you're defending yourself domestically or internationally, until such a time when the ultimate victory will come. So it's a very unfortunate situation, and the danger faced daily by those on the front lines, including my humble self, is quantum danger. It's significant danger. So I salute the resilient spirit of Biafrans across the world. Of course I do. But the resilient spirit of the Biafrans who are trapped in Nigeria and still upstanding enough, convinced enough to pursue their political aspirations is something that needs to be highly commended. So, but on the next note, I will urge everybody. Again, let me return back to Bruce Fine. The opinion of the United Nations is the best exemplar of dedication, a commitment to work, professionalism, and most importantly, collaboration and teamwork. So for every Biafran out there or any member of IPOB, I will urge that for whatever reason that there might have been one misunderstanding or the other, you have to find a common ground to work together. And that common ground is the quest for Biafra through the process of referendum. That is the thread that ties everybody together. So when you cast your mind to that, you will be able to stand down on certain minor sparks and disagreements that may be coming from left and right. And bear in mind that as a team, you're more likely
I got a response back when I was protesting the rather weak, effete response of the British High Commissioner and the Foreign Secretary to the obvious kidnapping and torture of one of their own citizens. I said, compared to the DECO, where they severed diplomatic relations for 2 years over something similar happened to a Nigerian in London. The language of the British remains one of a conviction. Unity of Nigeria is essential because they obviously have their economic claws into the Nigerian system. We know that there are kickbacks, all sorts of bribery, underhanded deals, money laundering between the two countries. So the British have played a truly disgraceful role. But that's true to their entire occupation, if you will, or in Nigeria and Africa, stemming back over a century. After all, it is kind of ridiculous to assert that Biafra is seeking to secede. You can only secede if at one time you agreed to accede. Biafra never agreed to be part of Nigeria. Not a one Biafran was consulted, voted in favor of amalgamation in 1914, over a century ago. It was accomplished by machine guns, period, which is not a legitimate source of law. And the British were treacherous then, forced and amalgamated different people with different backgrounds, cultures, language, history, traditions under one roof so they could do divide and conquer more easily for their own convenience, and then decamped in 1960. Did they decamp and offer self-determination referendums? No. They just handed it over to their favorites and said, okay, now it's your country. After they already had ensured that the boundaries were such that it was sitting there like nitroglycerin, ready to blow up, which it did in 1967. That wasn't an accident. That was inevitable from the beginning because you had pushed under one sovereign roof incompatible peoples, cultures, understandings, values, etc. And those can all be traced back to the British cynicism in forcing the Biafrans into a country over their protest. So the British, in my judgment, are not to relied upon here. That's why I think the game really is in the United States. Britain just goes through the pretenses, if you will. They have their own problem right now, and finding a successor to Boris Johnson. This Liz Truss may win. She was the foreign secretary before. She's very weak, said virtually nothing about the Biafran slaughters. Well, she's prancing around Ukraine. And I guarantee you, Ukraine is a tea party compared to the genocide in Biafra. A tea party. And it's not at all to condone what's happening there. But the volume, the scale, whatever, are entirely different. And the last observation I make, international law is not a suicide pact. And to force Biafra to remain in Nigeria is a suicide pact. That cannot be the law, no matter what. That's lawless. And I say the Nigerian government is infested with criminals. It's infested with criminals. It makes a farce of all international legal rights. And that is why, despite the best efforts, if you will, of the Nigerian government, no other country in the world has listed IPOB as a terrorist organization for seeking self-determination. None. I, in fact, have a lawsuit in the United States for defamation for someone who said, IPOB needs to be listed by the Secretary of State as a terrorist organization, which, of course, is never going to happen. Are you accusing them of engaging in terrorist act? Totally fanciful article that was written. My suspicion is somebody in the Nigerian government called this professor up in Baltimore and said, hey, do us a favor and we'll put your niece on a payroll and pay her $100,000 or naira or something of that sort. So there needs to be no reluctance, no embarrassment about championing self-determination. I go back. It is a duty. And it's a duty for this reason. It's because when amongst peoples there is a display of feebleness, a lack of resistance, and a complacency with oppression, it emboldens the perpetrators to even worse crimes. That affects everybody. So if you don't stand up for your rights, it doesn't just affect you. It affects all of your colleagues, all of the peoples of the same like and culture and heritage. And that's why it is simply not acceptable.
Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, Mr. Robinson, let me add to what Bruce said.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, yeah, I agree with Bruce, but in addition to that, Nigerian law recognizes self-determination. The problem we have here is a lot of people, including the people that enforce the laws in Nigeria, are probably not even aware of it, because it's not a law that is very popular. But there is a law that is called the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The fact that it's called African Charter doesn't mean it applies in Africa. It applies in Nigeria. It was passed by the National Assembly of Nigeria in 1983. The African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Anybody listening to this program, including all the Biafrans out there, and even the government agents that are very good in monitoring broadcasts, should write it down. Article 20 of this law, which can be found at Chapter A9, the Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, states that all oppressed peoples, I'm paraphrasing right now, all oppressed peoples are entitled or have the right to self-determination and to free themselves from the bonds of oppression. This is Nigerian law. So this law, very law, is an affirmative defense to every accusation or allegation by the Nigerian government that the IPOB or Nnamdi Kanu is involved in any sort of criminal activity. What is playing out here is that the IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu possess a political opinion that is convenient to the government of the day. So as simple as that. So what the government of the day is doing is seeking to suppress that political opinion by means of punishment of some sort. Punishment including arrest, detention, renditions, and extrajudicial proceedings. So that the government is persecuting them for that. Does not claim.
Thank you so much, my wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your comments in the comment section constructively. Until I meet your way again in my next video, I still remain your Linda's TV show. Bye-bye.